So, if you didn't know anything about Hilda and the Mountain King until clicking on this video, I don't blame you. Netflix has done next to nothing to promote this absolute gem of a movie. And don't worry, I'll rip into their promotion strategy in a bit. But right now I want to talk about how incredible Hilda and the Mountain King is. Not only is it a perfect conclusion to the ongoing Hilda story as seen so far in the series, it's an epic movie in its own right, and one of the few cinematic releases in beautiful 2D animation to come out in a while. So whether you're a fan of animation who knows nothing about Hilda or the movie, or you're a Hilda superfan who's followed the show since day one, join me as I take a look at what makes Hilda and the Mountain King so exceptional and one of the most underrated animated releases of last year. So, before we get into the video, I'm doing an interview with the director and animation director of Hilda and the Mountain King at 7:15 p.m. EST the day this video comes out. Be sure to join us if you're at all interested. And if you're watching this later, there's no need to wait, just go ahead and check it out now. Or after this video. Hilda. It's a simple story about a blue-haired girl who loves living in the wilderness, but moves to the city of Trollberg with her mom and learns about the joys of friendship, experiences the challenges of growing up and being in school, and explores the magical world of creatures and people around her. And it's one of my favorite animated series of all time. The colors are vibrant, the music is soft, and the vibe is immaculate.
What a lovely day. The hills, the forests. Sorry. The freedom.
No matter what age you are, this show has something for you. Endearing characters? Check. Sci-fi and magic? Check. Deep lore and mythology? Check. Emotionally devastating adventures? Check. Gorgeous animation? Absolutely. And Hilda and the Mountain King continues all of these things from the series. With Hilda stuck as a troll after the season 2 cliffhanger, she has to adjust to the world of trolls and try to find a way home in the biggest and grandest adventure the show has tackled yet. Let's start with the animation. Not only does the movie take on a very cinematic aspect ratio to differentiate itself from the series, but it builds on the established style of the series. The colors are vibrant and warm when they need to be, and cold and dark when the story gets more intense and sinister, with an excellent balance that creates a feel for the movie that's unique to the story it's telling. And the animation itself is just as smooth and beautiful as anything in the series. But the standout moment in the movie animation-wise has to be the gorgeous opening credits sequence done by Giant Ant. They decided to go with a 3-act structure for these credits, symbolized by 3 colors. The blue part features imagery symbolizing Hilda's world breaking as she struggles with the idea that she might be a troll forever. The yellow part symbolizes the interpersonal conflict of the film, with Hilda's mom, Joanna, reaching out to her, while Trilla, her troll mom, also tries to be there for her, reaching and grabbing as Hilda runs away. And finally, the red, the part that symbolizes the inner community conflict with the trolls, as we see bells of all kinds, both the bells keeping Trundle in prison, as well as a bell that looks like a flashlight trying to find Hilda. And there's also a brief moment where the red forms a circle around Hilda, referencing the look of Trundle's eye and how he stirs up some conflict among the trolls. And finally, we end with the epic title card as the Mountain King approaches Hilda. This sequence is absolutely gorgeous and it's so beautiful. I'm going to take its 3-act structure and actually use it to talk about this movie. Full spoilers from here on out. I kinda gotta talk about everything to explain why this movie is so great.
Hilda's a troll!
Yes, it's not ideal.
Yes, Hilda is a troll, and as much as the team tried to make her appearance look troll-like, there's only so much they can do, prompting every member of my family to ask at least once why Hilda was naked.
Yes, it's not ideal.
But all jokes aside, Hilda's journey in this movie involves wanting to become human again. That's her drive, and it's a great way to show her character growth after earlier in the series where she would have killed to live in the wilderness again. And maybe it was something she even wanted in the episode before.
What do they get up to out there, Twig? So wild and free. It's not fair. I wish I was a troll.
While she does enjoy aspects of being a troll, she misses everything that makes Trollberg her home. Her friends and family who spend most of the movie trying to reach her, reconnect with her, and switch her back. However, in desperation to be human again, Hilda starts to trust a troll named Trundle who, spoiler alert, is the actual Mountain King the movie's named for, locked up for once gathering a number of trolls in an attempt to storm Trollberg. Hilda's journey towards understanding troll culture is the culmination of how Hilda attempts to understand and become friends with all creatures. And the way Trundle tricks her is downright brilliant, playing it as if they're friends and using clever misdirections that cause Hilda to excuse any doubts she might have had about his intentions.
Tell me, why are there so many bells here? Someone obviously didn't want you to leave. They were worried enough about you to put a bell on your nose. What do you think they make of me?
And in the end, she uses her intuition to figure out what Trundle's true plan is, and uses it to help bring Eric Alberg's attacks to a stop. She has to try to explain to everyone why the trolls aren't truly dangerous and why they should live side by side without fear, sharing her point of view with all of Trollberg. While not super deep, there is a beauty and simplicity to this journey as she learns to understand and empathize with the trolls, and reflect on herself and how she now truly fits in Trollberg with her friends and family. In terms of Hilda's stories, this gives Hilda a lot to do and is a fitting conclusion to her arc in the series so far. Hilda is no stranger to tackling themes with its episodes, from friendship to fear to misinformation to expectations, and one of the primary themes this movie really explores is motherhood, and what a mother's love is and means. Let's start with Joanna. Coming off of season 2, Hilda and her mom have finally come to terms with their relationship, after a rocky season involving Hilda getting grounded, Joanna questioning her parenting techniques, and some really sweet reconciliation. Joanna gets her own subplot in this movie as she searches for Hilda with Tantu, Baba, and Alfred, feeling devastated that this could have happened and a need to search for Hilda every minute she can. She goes to great lengths for Hilda, even so far as to team up with the notoriously awful Alberg, head of the safety patrol, promising to reveal to him the location of the trolls' secret community inside the mountain should he help her find Hilda. Nothing else matters to her in the search for her daughter, and she will do anything, even if the movie had to redesign the Joanna with a gun moment from the graphic novel.
I'll take that!
Joanna and Hilda's reunion is one of the most emotional scenes in the film, and this comes purely from how strong their relationship is in the story and their persistent searching to reunite throughout the film. This all perfectly parallels the journey of Trilla, Hilda's new troll mom, who performed the magic to swap Baba and Hilda in the first place to protect Baba. Seeing as the troll world is restless with many dangers including thieves, bullies, humans, and bells, she felt that Baba would do better as a human child, free from all the stresses of troll life. And she noticed that Hilda didn't seem fully content with being in the city either, so she felt it would be a good trade as long as she remained a good and caring mother to Hilda. This is, of course, very flawed logic, and Trilla realizes that after Hilda continues to express discontentment with being a troll. But it honestly wasn't any worse than Joanna choosing to reveal the trolls' secret world to Alberg, who actively enjoys endangering trolls for his own glory. It leads to some scary moments for everyone when Alberg takes advantage of the situation, holds Baba hostage against her will, and nearly shoots Hilda with his anti-troll weapon. But all this thematic groundwork leads to the film's big reveal, that the mother and grandmother of all trolls, Amma, has been lying underneath Trollberg for centuries so as to not disturb the humans who built the city there when she took a particularly long nap. She cares for the humans, and unless the humans threatened to hurt her children, she didn't want to harm them. That's why Trundle's plan was just to allow himself to be attacked by the trigger-happy humans, so that she would sit up, destroying the town of Trollberg, and defend them. And that's what makes her approach to motherhood similar to Joanna and Trilla's. She's willing to do anything to protect and care for her children. She'll play nice like Joanna until it looks like her children might truly be hurt. She'll be like Trilla, working to create a new, healthier environment for her children to live in this case the mountains. And though both Trilla and Joanna make mistakes in their journeys, it's the theme of motherly love that ties together so much of this story. It's why Joanna goes to extreme measures to get Hilda back, it's why Trilla performs the swap, and it's why Amma sets an example for her children by attempting to create peace with the humans by being respectful of them. Alright, it's rant time, aka time to talk about why nobody knows this film exists. Let's go over the promotion strategy. Sony buys Silvergate Media on December 10th, 2019, and a 70-minute Hilda movie special is mentioned. Then, Hilda Season 2 releases nearly a year later, December 14th, 2020. Still, nothing about the movie, though the season ended on a cliffhanger. Then, I don't know, maybe a press release that the movie's still in the works? Maybe Netflix drops the movie's title, maybe a logo teaser? Nope. The first reveal of this movie's title was on Silvergate Media's website on November 19th, 2021. Then the official news broke about the film on November 23rd, 2021, announcing the release date of December 30th, 2021. And mind you, this was with no poster or trailer, simply this one piece of concept art, which, with a poorly placed title, had to be removed and fixed after an outcry from fans for obvious reasons. And then after that, rather than releasing the trailer as an event on YouTube, It first showed up on Netflix's actual website, with both the official Hilda Twitter account and Netflix Future's YouTube page waiting a significant amount of time to confirm, hey, wait, can we post the trailer now? The trailer right now has just around 140,000 views, which on YouTube is basically nothing. And the first tweet it was released on has a similar 135,000 views. And the film's poster didn't drop until 9 days before it's released. But forget all of that. Netflix didn't publicly acknowledge this movie's existence until a month before it was released. Why? It's not like this is an original IP no one's heard of. This is your prestigious Emmy Award-winning Best Animated Series. Why are you treating it like dirt? Hilda is a world chock full of wonderful creatures and lore, and this movie is no exception. Was it just me, or was the waft getting eaten like the most disturbing part of the movie? But since the first episode of Hilda, the most commonly seen creatures have been the infamous trolls, of which Trollberg is named after. They're feared and often assaulted by the humans that live in the city, who have set up a massive wall to keep them out, and put bells both on trolls and on the walls, as bells are known to be a super useful defense against them. But throughout the show's run, it was never super clear what was going on with the trolls. Were they intelligent, misunderstood, only dangerous when aggravated? And why would they stay around Trollberg after such rampant mistreatment by the humans? This film takes the time to answer all of those questions and more, as Hilda turning into a troll allows her to finally understand what they're saying. With Trilla to guide her, Hilda learns all about the incredibly rich world surrounding the trolls, and we get to follow. We learn just how great the impact bells have on trolls is, and why it's so painful. We learn of troll culture, what their hordes are like, and their day-to-day life. We learn that they don't all agree about things, and are similar to humans in that way. But above all, we learn the most important thing about them, the reason why they still live around Trollberg, because of a calling they feel from their mother Amma, who sleeps underneath the city. This has been the true source of conflict for centuries for the trolls, as the Mountain King, as he was once known, once attempted to unite all of trollkind to storm the city and destroy the humans who kept their mother slumbering, before he was stopped and imprisoned in a troll war. This excellent world building finally gives context to the presence of two of the most important aspects of the show, Trollberg and trollkind, and recontextualizes nearly everything that we've seen in the story so far. And on top of that, this epic story largely resolves the conflict between humans and trolls, something which gives the story a sense of finality to the story of the world of the show, if not the characters. While we might discover new creatures in future seasons, Trollberg, its history, and troll culture are no longer mysteries, and Hilda and the Mountain King gives these answers in a way that's engaging, exciting, and fitting within the context of the series. The trolls reuniting with and hearing a message from their mother encouraging them was so wonderful and sweet, and it's just a perfect resolution to the journey they've had. Alright, time for some assorted thoughts. David and Frida's role in the film has been hotly criticized by friend of the channel Sarcastic Chorus, so I really couldn't go through this video without addressing it. They weren't in the original Mountain King graphic novel, and so it makes sense that they needed to be added to this movie to fit in with the series. And honestly, I agree that there's some issues. David not talking to his parents and being afraid to be seen standing up is never really followed up in a conversation, despite the sweet reconciliation with his mom at the end. Frida's role using her magic was fine, but what really paid off was her connection with creatures via mind communication. It's a concept that was well set up in Season 2, and by using it in the story to foreshadow the mother twist, it actually creates a nice Rule of Threes moment when Alberg eventually has the third similar vision. Actually, there's a lot of setup from Season 2 that works here, from introducing Alberg and the safety patrol as the main threat of Season 2, to the trolls getting more temperamental throughout the season as Alberg makes changes, to the Stone Forest episode acting as an incredibly important lead into the movie, to Kaisa's role as a friend of Frida and David. Even though Frida's role in the film isn't 100% necessary, it still ties into her Season 2 arc, which is great. I also really love the concluding flashback about the history of Amma and her children done in that gorgeous storybook style, as well as the message she gives her children. That moment gave me chills. Alberg did not deserve the medal at the end for sure, but he did pose a big threat in the movie, and his moment stealing Baba was actually terrifying. And he's just given some great expressions in this movie too. Deputy Gerda finally got to rise to her true potential, which was a wonderful character moment. There's also some more subtle callbacks, like the tree that Hilda got her mom for Christmas being destroyed. But honestly, my biggest complaint with the film is the Mountain King's brother. It's a fun twist reveal that he isn't actually the Mountain King, but when he shows up, it's just anticlimactic since he doesn't say anything to Hilda, he just chases her. The opening titles would have you think he was some grand regal troll or something, but nah, he's pretty spry. We don't ever really get a chance to hear his motivation or why none of the other trolls seem to know that he still lived in his brother's lair. We simply get a brief confrontation between him and Trundle, and then he kneels when Trundle dies. I don't know, I just think for all the hype and subversion the movie tried to put around him, he's a pretty irrelevant character, even if he did save David's life. I wanted to see more of him, he just seems so interesting. And finally, Trundle. He's a really fun villain. His defeat was a bit anticlimactic, but that was never the real climax of the film. The climax was letting the trolls in and letting them hear from their mother. And that was executed perfectly. But let's end this video on a high note. Ryan Carlson's score for this movie is his best work yet, tying together the themes from the main series as well as introducing new ones for this movie specifically. But best of all is his theme for the end of the movie. I don't know what it's called, but it is transcendent. Just listen. Overall, if you haven't seen this movie or the Hilda series, I highly encourage you to go check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back in Dimension 1.